How are you poised looking at these back and forths with the authenticity and the validation that the Election Commission needs to give itself? And let us not forget that Rahul Gandhi has also made some very, very staunch and very powerful allegations against the Election Commission. He's also cited proof against them of corruption and partiality.
Vinay, thank you for having me on your show. Look, when you talk of Rahul Gandhi, I think he already knows he doesn't have a chance in Bihar. Let's face it. He knows he's a peripheral player. He's a peripheral player. Kuch hai nahi. So now the greatness about Rahul Gandhi is that when he sets out that he's not going to make it, so he will blame Supreme Court, EC, voter, EVM, anything. And then at the end of the day, Congress will say, look, it's not the Rahul Gandhi at fault. It's everybody else who messed up except Mr. Rahul Gandhi. He did it the best of the best shot. That is how Congress traditionally works. So Rahul Gandhi doesn't surprise me. But when it comes to Tejashwi Yadav, it's a very surprising thing. As he has been a deputy chief minister, how does he have these two numbers? Who gave him the first number? Why didn't he report the first number? Why didn't he talk about the first? He should have surrendered the first number. The question which should be asked right now is this: how RJD has been winning elections? If a ex-chief minister's son and a former deputy chief minister could manage to, those numbers, what about those karyakartas who can have 4 or 5? I mean, now when this SIR is happening, 65 lakh people are getting out. Are these the real people or all these farji numbers which are being tented out? Because at the end of the day, there are a lot of seats which were decided in a margin of 3,000 to 3,200. There are a lot of seats which were decided in the margin of around 5,000 votes. So when that is the narrow margin, and when a deputy chief minister can have two numbers allocated to himself, which is some jugaad, of course, which has done. So the onus on which should be asked right now, why didn't he go to the election commission voluntarily? Why didn't he surrender this? And why a FIR is not still registered against him? If it's a person like you and me, do you think there will be no FIR registered against us? Will be, hum to bhaiya jail mein honge. So what makes Tejashwi Yadav so important, and why is he trying to claim something which is basically a violation of the code of conduct and a violation of it's a criminal offense in my opinion. So how is he trying to justify his criminality as a valor? It's a very oxymoronic situation. My criminality becomes my valor and your problem. No, election commission, you come and do it. In fact, the question which should be asked is that, what is the number? Should the number have been this 65 lakh or should it have been much higher? Because there seems to be a pattern where these people have managed a substantial number of these farji numbers and possibly got 2 voter IDs. We don't know they have got. And obviously they were using them to vote. And Bihar has been had a notorious reputation of Jungle Raj. We have seen those booth capturing. We have seen those Bahubalis of Bihar. We have seen all kinds of things going wrong in Bihar. Now under Modi ji and NDA, things have come to a great extent, to a great, on the path. Bihar is progressing. So why, if Tejashwi Yadav cannot win the election, which will be second defeat in a row, and for Mr. Gandhi it will be third or fourth. So why can't they reconcile to the fact that the people are not liking their brand of politics? You are the people who came with the Dalit Muslim, Muslim Yadav combo. When these all combos are not working, when the vote is getting consolidated, when people are looking for development, what are you doing, sir? You are trying to kind of find, hairs, and you are trying to find a needle in a haystack. Okay, these are 2 cards. How did I get a 2 card? For example, let's say if my card becomes wrong, I have my sister-in-law, when she voted this time, there was some anomaly in the husband's name. So does it mean that every card which in my household or every card which I know went wrong? No. Out of all the cards, there was one card which went wrong. So if my sister-in-law's card could have a mismatch in the husband's name, what makes Tejashwi Yadav so special? His name cannot have the mismatch. Bhai, Tejashwi Yadav naam ka ek vyakti to hai nahi duniya mein. It's a very common name. If my sister-in-law could have a husband's name mismatch, why couldn't Tejashwi Yadav have some kind of a mismatch? How does one VIP's mistake in the name become a national flaw? How can you crucify the whole election commission on the basis of that? This is the questions which must be asked. And if you have sizable proof, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, which you say I have, I'll get these people arrested, you should give a press conference and show that proofs to the nation. Go to the Honorable Supreme Court, show them the proofs and try to still find a legal recourse. Just think, hum aapko dekh lenge, hum aapko arrest karwa lenge. That is not what the leader of opposition should be doing, in my opinion. That's a stature which the constitution gives him. But if you have something credible, bring that on, show it to the people, show it to the courts, and try to get a stay. The fact remains, you went to the court did not give a stay. You wanted to stop the SIR, court did not stop the SIR. And there was very clear thing, Vineet. Honorable Supreme Court and Election Commission of India are constitutional bodies. This can advise this but not direct this. That is a very clear mandate and a demarcation there. I fail to understand when Congress was so many competent lawyers, the best in the world. and even RJD has access to Congress, they are good friends. Why can't they understand this line? You know, Supreme Court can advise, cannot recommend,
Okay.
cannot direct, because it is the onus of the Election Commission of India to conduct a free and fair election in India. For that, whatever they think is right, they will do it. If you think there's something wrong, system is wrong, you have the proof, bring it on. Otherwise, don't become like Kejriwal, वो है ना, वो 300 फाइल का पेज मेरे पास है,
Okay.
I'm going to
All right.
do it,
All
I'm
right.
going to expose